Hello, it's Gadget UK again. I'll just point you down here. Hang on. Just bear with me a sec. Yeah, we are live. Let's just check in. Just give me a sec. Let's get the chat up. I don't know what date it is today. It's Wednesday, isn't it? YouTube channel, hi. Right, yeah, so we've got some people watching there. So, yeah, we're not, don't worry, we're not looking at these things. Although we are kind of looking at what that's related to. I'll show you over the other side of the room in a sec. I've got the A2000 set up, and it has an A2091 SCSI card in it. Now, if you've been following me on Twitter, you'll notice I've been ranting a little bit over the last few days about SCSI problems I've been experiencing with SD to SCSI. Someone's just said Wednesday, it's confusing on lockdown. Yeah, it certainly is. Every day feels like the last at the moment. Yeah, so apologies I've not been on for a week. I've just felt a bit run down and stuff. I mentioned, I think in one of the previous videos, it may have been a stream, I think it was actually, that my uncle wasn't well. Well, unfortunately he died. Yeah, he died a few days ago. Now, I wasn't as close to my uncle as my mum, obviously, so she's, yeah, as you can imagine, absolutely gutted. So, yeah, we'll miss my Uncle Rodney, and it's sad that I never got a chance to go and visit him, actually, in Ontario, where he lived. But anyway, yeah, I'm just trying to do things to take my mind off things more than anything, so that's the reason we're back doing a live stream. Anyway, I'm just going to wheel you over the other side of the room. I'll show you that A2000 board. We'll bring this chip as well. I think I've got everything I need over there. I've got the wrist strap and what have you, because we're going to need to disconnect and connect a few things. So if we just... Joseph Neal, hi, nice to see you again, my friend. You're usually the first to comment on my videos, Joseph. Spitfire RAF 100, afternoon, hello. Mike Simcox, hi Chris, hope you're well, mate. Sorry about your uncle, thank you very much. Yeah, and I hope you're well too. Thank you for the sentiment and stuff there. Right, let's just think what I was going to show you. Right, so as you can see, we've got one of my A2000 boards here, just rested above the carpet. It's not actually in contact with the carpet. If anyone complains about the carpet, it's a normal thing. We've got an A2630 in here, which is 25 megahertz 030. So this was kindly donated to me by, I've forgotten his name now, Oddbod on Twitter. Came all the way from Australia, this, so I'll do a video in its own right for that. It'll be a separate video, but yeah, thanks to Oddbod for that. And that was essential in me sorting out the issues with the SCSI. Again, there'll be a separate video just on the this card, the A2091 here, and setting it up with some SCSI drives. But if I'll just pull this out, I'll just show you. Let me just get the wrist strap on. It's super warm in here today, I tell you what, I'm baking. And it isn't the heater on, by the way, in case anybody wonders. That isn't the issue. I need to tighten up this wrist strap, actually. It's somehow slipping. There. Oh, it's one of those, isn't it? It's one of those where you've got to pull it like that and then close this little thing there. There we go. Because if it's not tight, can you see the metal piece there? If that's not touching skin, on a cheap one like this, it won't work very well. I think some of them have got like some conductive weave through the thing, but on these cheap ones, no, it's just going to be the metal thing there. So anyway, that's that. And we're connected to the power supply there, which is earthed. I'll try and keep up with the chat as we go along here. Bocca's Retro Stuff, hello, hi. Let's make sure I'm on live chat, not top chat. Yeah, I am. There we go. Yeah, we've only got 27 watch at the moment. I think it's a hot day, isn't it? So I would imagine people are going to be in the gardens, but also lots of people have gone back to work in various places and countries. So what was I going to say? Yeah, let's get this out. Let's just disconnect the power thing here. Oh, that's something I'm going to rant about in a minute. I'll show you actually. Power, this connector here, this adapter to an ATX power supply that I got from Amiga kit. The connector down here, is it one moulded piece? No, it's not. They're glued two connectors together. So of course, when you've pulled it out once or twice, it breaks into two parts. I'll show you. You can even see the glue. So I'm really annoyed at that, actually. What a piece of junk that is. Anyway, so yeah, here's the A2091, as you can see. So prior to this was the A2090. I think that this one performs better. I think I don't know whether the original one's got the DMAC chip. You can see the DMAC chip there, it's a Rev, it's an O2. So I'm not sure what the difference is between a -01 and a -02, but the DMAC chip you will find on a CD TV, I think, and also on the Amiga 3000 motherboard. I think that had a DMAC chip, didn't it? And I think it's like a DMA controller, so it allows you to have DMA stuff in terms of it reading, squirting data straight into RAM and stuff. So you can see it's got these awful MT chips. These are the ones that manufacturer, I think, are the ones that fail on C64 boards, aren't they? So anyway, yeah, so we've got 2 meg there. Each one of those, each block of 4 there is 512k. I think they're like 44256s or something, a bit like you get on this board, actually. You see down here? I think they're like those, effectively. So you've got 1 meg there, half meg, half meg, half meg, half meg, 2 meg in total. So if you don't have the RAM on there, incidentally, it's not able to use the DMA side of things, and your performance is a lot less, I think. So yeah, there is advantage. I'm just wondering why that jumper there is floating on there. Can you see that? That's really weird. This has been working in that position. I'm not sure how. It was working with 2 meg. So yeah, that's one issue. And you can see here, it's a SCSI controller. This, it's got a SCSI connector there, 50 pin. Is it 50 pin? IDC, something like that. And I think this board, yeah, it's also got a connector there. Can you see that? You can fit. You might be forgiven for thinking it looks like IDE. It's a precursor to IDE. I think it's called XT, the XT format. So if you were lucky enough to have an XT hard disk, you could literally just fit the connector on there. I'm not sure if there's a jumper somewhere to switch over or something like that. And then in theory, you can use an XT drive. I think XT is like an 8-bit IDE, isn't it? So it kind of is IDE. I think. Could be wrong. Let's just catch up with the chat a sec. Oh, I am so hot. So hot. Might not be able to go on very long today because I am so hot in here. I feel like I'm melting. Someone said there one difference is that the O2 DMAC is needed if you run Guru ROM on the controller. Yeah, and that's something to point out. I'll show you here. Can you see I stuck the original ROM labels on here that are peeled off? So originally this shipped with version 6.6 from Commodore. But yeah, I upgraded that fairly early on to V7. So yeah, it's got version 7 on here, but you can get a Guru ROM, which I think gives you even better performance. There might be some more bug fixes and things in there. In particular, I think the V7 ROMs and the Guru ROMs allow for larger discs, because there's like I think with the V6 or less ROMs, there's limits as to the LBA size and all that sort of stuff, as to what it can actually. It's probably not called LBA on SCSI, it's probably something else. But the size of the drives and things like that are an issue. And the other thing is that chip you saw me show right at the beginning of this video here was the original Western Digital. I think it's Western Digital, isn't it? It might be a different company, WDC. I always thought that was Western Digital Controls. It might not stand for that. It might be another manufacturing company, but nevertheless, the WDC chip. You can see it's I don't know whether you can see that. It's hard to see from here whether you can see it. WD33C93A-PL00-08. So there are different revisions of these, and they all say Proto generally. This one doesn't say Proto, the other one did. I think the other one was like a -02 or a -06 or something, but the -08 is the preferable one to fit onto one of these that improves things. So I think like it's got better support for SCSI CD-ROMs and things like that, but yeah, that's what people tend to do with cards like this. If you see one of those, try and upgrade it to the -08. Incidentally, there were lots of fakes of these floating around as well. That's one challenge I did have on eBay. A few sellers in China were selling them, and yeah, I got them and plugged them in. They weren't doing anything. They were just like burning up, so I don't even think they were the right type of chip. So eventually I got a -08 for that. Now I originally did these things, which you'll see when I do the video for this particular card here, but and I'm not going to cover everything because I don't want to go over the same ground twice, but the swapping the ROMs, changing that, we're all part and parcel of trying to understand what on earth was going on, trying to get this working. And yeah, I've made some significant progress in the last 4 days, probably 4.5 days actually, kid you not, setting this up. trying to work my way through and, you know, get drives on here and petitioned and stuff. More than one drive as well. This SCSI, did I call it SD to SCSI? I think it's SCSI to SD, actually, if you look at the, can you see that there? Yeah, SCSI to SD version 5.1. So there are quite a few different versions of it now. At least 3, I think, main revisions to the boards of these. You can get one that's smaller now. It's like a tiny little board that's about that long, and it's just got this connector here upright on it and stuff. But nevertheless, I think the 5.1 is a good revision to go for. There's a reason for that, I think. Oh, that's what it is. I've remembered now. Yeah, the reason is, using some software, as you'll see on the other video, you program this card, this configuration setting, so you can say, you know, on this SD card here, that you've got 4 virtual drives, and you can turn them on and off, and you can change the ID for each one, you can change the size of it, all the, you know, settings and things there for that specific drive. But overall, as well, for the controller, you can set the configuration options for the controller to say whether parity is enabled, does it support, is it SCSI 2 device or is it SCSI 1 device. There's like an experimental cache option on there, and various other flags you can enable or disable to tweak how this is configured. But the key with this one is the actual geometry itself, if you like, is the actual drive images are just stored straight on the compact on the SD card, unless the compact flash card there. So you've got the raw data just written to the thing there. In theory, the only thing you need this for is providing the geometry from a SCSI perspective. But if you stick this into a PC and run WinUAE, you know, the emulator there for the Amiga, it's the most popular one. It's amazing how maintained that is as well. I updated mine as part of resolving the issues with this, and I was amazed at how many new features and things have been added since the version I was looking at previously. Things like this card, the A2091, you can actually select that as one of the expansions that's in your emulated Amiga, and there's loads of different options in there, pretty much all the official Commodore ones. So yeah, you can set up a build of a virtual machine on your PC that's pretty much mirrors any kind of real build, with the exception of obviously some of the modern devices and things like that. But for all the legacy kit, it emulates everything. But anyway, you can mount that, and I think you've got to enable RDB mode or something like that on it when you set it up as a hard drive. You know, you can actually point it to the actual card there, and then boot the machine, and actually it boots just like it does from this, you know, from an A2091 here. But the only thing, the limit there is, as I mentioned, this supports 4 drives, this board. You can only access the first drive on there. Now in my case, I've got 2 partitions. I originally set it up as a 1 gig drive with 2 partitions, like roughly just under 500 meg for DH0. That's your boot partition there, and same again, 500 meg to DH1. So it does cause me a bit of a, well, it's caused me some interesting issues in that, in order to transfer files, all my games and things, WHD load, any drivers and software, etc., etc., the easy way to do it is to plug this into the PC, boot WinUAE. You know, it boots from DH0 just like it would do on this 2000 here, and I can see DH1. I can also then mount an additional hard drive in that emulator, which has got all my games and things from one of my other compact flash cards, for example, and I can just drag over, you know, all my games and things. But I've only got 500 meg on DH1 to do that, so I've had to do it in a few steps, and I only finished the last step of, I think it was like T to Z or something, the remaining games I needed to copy, last night. So I haven't tried it since, but I did try it each step as I copied all the other games in alphabetical order across. So anyway, hopefully you're still following me, and hopefully I've not sent you to sleep yet. Let's just see who's in the chat and what's being said. ZX Kim, hello, nice to see you, ZX Kim. I'll be using your fan shortly, actually. I think we had a ZX Kim. I don't see ZX Kim in the actual chat there. I'm going below. Oh, yes, I do. Hi, everyone. Hi, Chris. Hi, ZX Kim. Hi. So, yeah, I'll be using that fan, that extractor fan. Thanks for providing that. I'll be using that later, or shortly, actually. Now, there we go. Fund Mike has just beat me to my point. Are you planning to do the 14 megahertz modification to the A2091? This modification? Yes, that's exactly what we're going to do. You can see Speed Geek here from Amiga. He's based in Wisconsin, in the good old US of A. Posted, I think actually he's the guy that did a 50 megahertz conversion to one of these A2630s, is it? I think he did. I just remember that name. Anyway, yeah, so he posted an article on Amiga. So basically, I'll show you through in a minute. It's just this jumper. Can you see jumper down here? Hang on, I'm just trying to balance it on. JP201, there's 3 pads, look. At the moment, there'll be a bridge between 2 of them. We need to cut that, stick a 3-pin jumper header, then flip it over and just solder from pin 1 to pin 3. I think the original Commodore instructions were to obviously break the bridge. You might be able to see the bridge there, actually. It's between the top 2 pins. Can you see that? If it'll focus. Yeah, the top 2 pins have got a little trace between them. So in the Commodore service manual, it tells you to cut that and then join the bottom 2. But that, for one reason or another, doesn't work. So it might be a mistake in the documentation there. He works out that you join the 1st pin to the 3rd pin. There's also a utility that you might need to run as well, because as default, when this chip boots, it puts it in the wrong mode, so you can get some issues with SCSI timings and things. So if it works, great, but ultimately you would want to run that utility that somebody's provided, and I've got it somewhere. I think it's on DH1 on here actually. Yeah, maybe run that boot, or just after you boot, to tweak the settings on here, not chip, in order that you get the timings just right and stuff. But in theory, I think it should boot without that. We should just be able to see some performance gain. So yeah, anyway, the first thing we're going to do here is we'll get the card back in here. Hang on. So we'll get the SD card in. I'm using a 16 gig one, and incidentally I've got 4 drives on here. So I'm just trying to think carefully what I'll say, because I don't want to give away everything I've been doing to work this out, because it's going to be a video in its own right. But anyway, if we just plug this in, I'll just point you back over there a bit. I've got the ESD wrist strap on still. So we'll find a slot to position this. I've been using this ESD bag here because obviously this is unsupported. And incidentally, Dennis is hopefully going to 3D print me a mount for this, so that I'll be able to permanently mount it on there like that. Does that make sense? But for the moment, we need something to just isolate it. So we'll just plug that in and just make sure that it is isolated. It's not going to short on anything here, and it isn't. It kind of sits nicely in that channel there. And if we connect the power up again, that's it, and switch it on. I'll show you the LED. So I've got a bit of a delay there, I think, as the A2630 starts up, and you get 1 flicker. Now it should go on in a minute for a prolonged period of time. There you go. So it takes quite a while to boot. I think it's gone off again. I think that's normal though. Hang on. Yeah, I think that's normal. But I was having major problems trying to get these drives on the SCSI to SNES there. Not SCSI to SNES, what I'm thinking. SCSI to SD working at all. I went round and round and round, sort of setting up, right start again, initializing the first drive, partitioning it again into 2 separate drives. Now, let me just bring over the cable. It is booting. Trust the LED. Hang on. Yeah, it is. The LED's flashing. There you go. So let me just get the charge cable for the phone. Last thing we want is the phone go flat. So the interesting thing here, we can perhaps have a look at that in a minute. Sidestepping the problems I had lots of problems. Trust me, it was driving me to despair. And when I say 4 days, I mean like 4 whole days. Like sat here from 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning till tea time, having tried goodness knows how many different things, waiting for it to format. Every time you format DH0, it takes like an hour or something to finish formatting. Anyway, long story short, we are in a scenario where this works perfectly now with 4 virtual drives. So you can see, I might just zoom you a little bit actually, because you're a little bit far away there. And I'll just point you upwards a little bit if the camera will allow me to. Yeah, not that much like that. Yeah, so you're a little bit crooked there, but yeah, hopefully, let's just zoom out a little bit. Yeah, that's not too bad. Yeah, so we've got 4 drives there on the SD card. So we've got DH4 at the top. That was the one I just got working last night. I haven't even tested that one yet. DH3, DH2, DH1, and Workbench is DH0. So the issue, which I'm hoping somebody might have a clue as to what the answer is to this. And I did mention it on Stephen Leary's stream last night. I've just noticed Stephen's joined. Hello, Stephen. Nice to see you again. So yeah, you might not have come across clearly my message last night, Stephen, because I know you were very busy focusing on the content, what you were doing in your video, the content of what you were doing. So to summarise, this will only be reliable and boot consistently when I've got an A2630 in there. Okay, so if I was to, and I can show you this in a minute, remove the 2630, on this particular 2000, it will boot, but if I was to do a large copying, say, I don't know, 100 mega files from one drive to another or one partition to another, it gets, I don't know, 10 or 20 or 30% way through, random each time, but it gets a percentage way through, and then suddenly the screen goes black, everything freezes, it reboots, and then I get an error at the top of the screen, you know, like a guru has occurred. And that's consistent, and it isn't just this board. You may think, oh, it's going to be this A2000. It isn't. I changed it to the other A2000 board, exact same thing happens. Now on the other board, I can't get it to boot at all, actually. It won't even boot with the straight 68,000 on the other board. But you stick this 2630 in there on either board, not only boots, it's absolutely rock solid. No problems at all. Even just formatting a drive, and it took me till tea time last night to work this out, even just formatting a drive with a straight 68,000, it would maybe, if you're lucky, get 50% of the way through the format, then the same thing would happen. It would freeze a second, the screen would go black, it would reboot, and you'd get a guru. And it would corrupt that partition. So then I'd have to, you know, repetition it again and start to format it again. So round and round and round I went trying to format drives, going, what is going on with this? Why can't I format drives? And it's something to do with the fact that these 68,000s can't drive some signal somewhere. Maybe they're not, the signal's not strong enough or something, or it's not pulled high enough or pulled low enough. So it's going to relate to, in terms of mods, maybe some pull-ups or pull-downs. I haven't tested it in my boxed 2000 because I've actually got 3 2000s. You think about it, I've got the full one. So I might try that at some point because that's had more mods done than these other 2 boards. But nevertheless, that is you know, something to do with it. You know, it's the modifications, like you can remove some of these resistor packs and things here and change the size of them. There's some down there. This is the one that's, you can see the board's being warped. It's one of the ones Tom Meads donated to the channel. This I'm very grateful for because I really enjoy using this board actually to test things. So yeah, what mods are required? That is the question, really. On the other board, the Rev 4 board, the one that's not booting at all, I removed. You can see the resistor pack there's missing, and the resistor pack's there's missing. So I mirrored how this one is here and removed them both from the other one. Didn't make a difference. The other thing I did on the underside of this board here, you've got 2 3K3 pull downs, haven't you, on these? So I replicated, well, as near as I could replicate that on the other board. I only had some 4K7s. Now I've ordered some 3K3s, but I tried 4K7s on the Rev 4 board. Didn't make a difference. Still would not boot at all with a straight 68,000. But as soon as you stick 68030 in, boots fine, no problems. So yeah, there you go. So that's the first thing. Post your thoughts down below about that, because that has just driven me nuts. It needs termination. What needs termination? Something without a CPU. No, with a CPU. The 2630, you can leave the stock CPU in. That's how it works. You don't need to remove it on these. In fact, there's a BIOS built onto the 2630. I can't remember what you hold down. Is it left button? I'll show you that now. See if we can do it. I think you hold the left button down. A bit like you can hold both buttons down to decide, you know, what boot options and things you've got and disable caches. You can just hold one button down, I forget which, and try the left one now to see if that works. And it should, in theory, pop up a little screen where you can decide whether you want to put it in stock, a 68,000 mode there. Someone said, I mean, do you have a fast RAM card without a CPU? No, I don't. So you mean just to see if it's additional RAM? But you see, it's got RAM on that board. That's the thing, is that it's got RAM on there, and the RAM works. I've tested the RAM. What I could do at some point is, it's not booting that, is it? What's it doing? No, it is booting. It's just it's not doing what I expected it to do. Let's just see if that comes up with the workbench it's doing. I think it's nearly there now. Yeah. So I obviously held the wrong button down. Let's try holding the right button down. I'm pretty sure one of these should pop up. There you go. Look at that. So if you weren't aware of that, the A2630 has got its own BIOS on board as well. I don't know how that works. It sort of somehow inhibits the boot there and puts its own little loader or something whereby if you hold down right, you get this menu and you can choose 68,000 or 03L. Let's just try 68,000. I'm curious to see if that will boot like that with this card in that way, because that's one thing I haven't tried. Let's just see what happens. In fact, it will boot on this board, I think, anyway, because this is the board that will boot with the straight 68K, but what happens there is you just get the unreliability when you start copying large files or trying to format drives. So Stephen said, I wonder if it would work with more fast ROM just to test. Yeah, we could do. I mean, that's the only difference now. Besides having an A30 on there, we've also gained an additional 2 meg of fast, haven't we? And I think it's A03 though. The 2 meg that's on the 2091 is Zorro 2. Big Box Amiga, hi. Oh, yours is different. Hey, how's it doing? How's it going? Sorry, I can't even read. On a flying lunch break, hi, Error 42, nice to see you. Are the 68 processors in your Amiga 2000 the same manufacturer? That's a good point. I have tried different manufacturers. So the reason Starlight's mentioning that, you can see that's booted actually. That's just using the stock 68K selected there when we rebooted. Yeah, you can see this one's a Signetics. So this is the one that was on the other board that was not booting at all. So I ruled that out by putting the Motorola one on the other board, still wouldn't boot, and putting the Signetics one back on here. And actually this one still boots without the 2630, but we still get the corruptions. But the reason being is I think some of the manufacturers of these, they don't behave exactly the same with relation to maybe the address bus or the data bus in terms of how strong or weak it's able to, how much it's able to pull, sync or source, etc. That might not be the right way of describing it, but there's a difference there. There is a difference there. It's subtle, and it might only be the Signetics ones that are the flaky ones. I don't know. I'm sure somebody who knows more will perhaps post more in the comments as we go along here. So, funny Mike, one challenge is that the DMAC can only do DMA into 24-bit addresses. Yes. So if you have any 32-bit RAM card, yeah, there's 2090 with pulled I/O instead of DMA. Yes, that's right. Mega slow, and that might be the situation we're in now. So let's just, I was going to just test a few things in here, test a couple of games, do a couple of quick benchmarks. So we'll start with the hard disk benchmark. I'm just going to write this down. Let me think, where's it gone now? It's in My Tools, Bench. Oh, it was there actually, SysTest as well. Yeah, I'm using a real ball mouse here, by the way, rather than an optical one. So yeah, the mouse is going to get stuck periodically on the book. The book I'm using as a trackpad. Or a mats rather. So we'll do let's do a speed test. Let's just look at the speed of the system as a whole first. And if we do expand, yeah, that's really low, obviously because we've got in 68K mode, haven't we? Should I really? Let me reboot that. I want it to be in the 25 megahertz mode really. Before I do the speed test, because what will happen is I end up forgetting to switch it back in 68K mode when we do the test after we've done the mod. Because what the plan is here is to mod that A2091 to put it in 14 megahertz mode. But we might find, as somebody mentioned, because it's being forced into the slow mode, into I/O mode instead of DMA, we might find it's running in slow mode now. So we might see no difference or hardly any difference when it's clocked up to 14 megahertz. I don't know. I would expect some difference there, to be fair. It might still be 200%, but it might be 100% faster, not 200%, 100% faster. But we might be lacking some performance there because of the 2630. But what we can do is we can test with both. We'll test it with it in there now and we'll test it without. Let's do that. I'll write them both down. So I'm going to Workbench again, into my utils, sysinfo. Yeah, I'll do the speed test again because that should be rocketing away now compared to what it was a minute ago. It should be up to the level of an A3000, I think. Yeah, there we go, that's looking better. So if I expand, hang on, I can move the blooming mouse. Yeah, so it's a bit less than a 3000 look. A3030. Yeah, it's a wee bit slower than an A3000 030 running at 25 megahertz, which is that's curious actually, because it is running at the same speed, 25 megahertz. Anyway, let's go to drives. So you can see hopefully the drives up there. We've got DH0. Let's do it on DH1. I don't think it's a destructive test, but I always prefer to pick a drive that I'm not too worried about in case it does something destructive. I don't think it does though. See what that comes up with. I think it's about a meg. There you go. Yeah. So I'll write it down. In fact, we'll just run it again. I think it's 1069, isn't it? Run it again. 1069975 975. Right. You've got the same value again. Let's just do it a third time. So I'm making a note here. That was for the 030. Yeah, exactly the same again, so it's consistently just around a meg. Now I do know that when I tested this at some point, perhaps with a straight 68,000, it was 1.5 meg. So anyway, let's try. Let's try and remove that. So I'll get my ESC wrist strap back on, we'll switch it off. And we'll just carefully remove the 030 here, so let's just disconnect the power, it's the easiest way of doing it, and just pull out the 2630. Yeah, so that might have been confusing things, the fact that this has got 2 meg of Zorro 3 RAM there. That might be forcing the card here to go into some sort of like slow I/O mode instead of DI. So if we connect the power again, and we'll boot it again. Let's take the wrist strap off, hang on a sec. Put you back up here, and we'll just test, see what's going on now. Yeah, it just takes a while to boot, but I noticed that the time it takes to boot has got longer and longer and longer, depending on how many SCSI drives I've added to the chain here. You know, when you had one on there, it was pretty quick actually, but by the time you've added 4 drives in, as I have, yeah, it just takes a little bit longer to boot. And I haven't got the jumper set there to wait longer for SCSI delay, so it's not that. Terrible Fire said, if it said 3 RAM, then the issue is what Fund Mike said. Yeah, in terms of performance, yeah, but bear in mind, like I say though, the real issue I'm trying to understand here is not about the performance and stuff. It's about when there's a straight 68,000, you can see here now, right? This is booted. On the other board, it won't boot at all with a straight 68,000. It doesn't boot at all. And on this one, if I was to say go into, and this happened numerous times, it's repeatable. I don't want to demonstrate here because it'll take about 10 minutes to demonstrate. But if I go into, DH1's got nothing. Let me go into, where's it gone now? DH1. Hang on, DH1's got nothing. I'm trying to think when the games are now. Is it DH2? It's DH2. Yeah, so all my games are in DH2. If I was to copy a couple of 100 meg of these to, say, DH3, this machine will crash doing it, the way we are running here now. So you might think, oh, well, it's the memory. Well, if I run memory tests on this board, I can run them till the cows come home and the memory's fine. I've cleaned all of the sockets up on that 2091, reseated all the chips, tried the different, obviously the DMA, the chip on there, the Western Digital chip, WC, I've changed that, it's just the same. The ROMs have been ruled out, so the ROMs aren't the issue. Reseated the DMAC chip. I don't think the DMAC chip's the issue, because, and the thing is, if there was a hardware issue with it, how the hell does it run perfectly when the 030's in there? This is the thing. This is why I think it's about the levels of some of the signals, or not really the levels, maybe some noise or something that's not occurring when a 2630's in there. Because let me just show you this card. If you look at the 2630 here, can you see all these pals and gals and things? So some of these are going to be responsible for creating some of the signals, or interface with the signals on here. And how it actually interacts with those may be different. You've got a straight 68,000 on there. One signal might not be as clean and as tidy as some of the other. Yeah, so they've got a question there about termination resistors. No, the SCSI, the SD to SCSI to SD, whatever it's called, is set up with automatic termination. The termination's on, so, and it's a super short cable. And again, I've ruled out the cable. So, and again, you've got to question, if it was about termination, why would it work perfectly with the 030? That doesn't make any sense. Someone said read up. Read up. Which bit am I reading up here? Our challenge is that the DMAC can only do DMA 24-bit RAM addresses. Yes. So if you have any 32-bit RAM space, then the A2091 will be, yes. Yeah, I agree. Totally. Yeah. So I'm on board with that. I understand that. So even if we do the 40 megahertz mod, it might not give us a massive increase in speed. I don't know. I think anyway. Let's just do the speed test here. But what I'm trying to get at is 2 issues here. One of them, we're all talking about, how this thing's not running as fast as it could be because it's got some extra Zorro 3 RAM there. But that isn't the issue that I'm concerned about. I don't care if it runs slow, if I'm honest. What I'm trying to understand really is why it doesn't boot on one of my boards here, unless there's an 030 driving things, and on this board, why does it, you know, bomb out completely and corrupt positions and things where you haven't got an 030 driving it? That's the real mystery. Could that be? Yeah. So I see the point there could be that maybe when DMAC's running and it's doing DMA, maybe there's an issue there. Maybe that's what the issue is. So I see what you're saying there. I see what you're trying to get at. What I might try and source another DMAC chip just to roll out the DMAC chip, because that might be what it is. Maybe we've got an intermittent DMAC chip. What was I going to do then? Speed test. Let's just go in here. I'm just curious to see, is it the same? Is it slower? Is it faster when we're booting from a stock 68,000? So I know there's been a lot of waffle up tonight. I've spent half the time waffling away here. Yeah, so I see what you're trying to say, Stephen. So maybe there's a relevance there. Maybe that's why we're getting a different behaviour. It's not crashing because it's using the I/O method instead of DMA. So if we go to drives, do the same thing again. DH1 speed. Let's just see what that reports. Yeah, a wee bit slower. Only a tiny bit though. It's a tiny touch, so I'll write that down. 1036, 142. And again, we'll just run it again a couple of times just to see if it's consistent. What is going on here? Yeah, my computer's asking for a password, I'm not sure why. So yeah, 1038, so that's a couple of K faster, isn't it? Not much. And do it again for a third time, just see how it averages out. .1037, yeah, it's kind of like the 1037, 1038 mark, isn't it? There's not much in it there. Analogous, hi Gadget. Oh, a new live stream of A2000, yeah. Hang on, should I read the chat here? It's flying at the speed here, I can't see the messages. But some code can be buggy and allocate fast ROM by accident, yeah. I've seen that on the CDTV. At Ronald Rico, it's not termination, no, it's definitely not termination. But it's a good idea to suggest that, you never know, I might have missed something like that. But trust me, I'm not as naive as it comes, as you might think, when it comes to SCSI. I know the basics. Someone said DMA, hang on. I would think those numbers indicate DMA working. If you're running pulled I/O, you would be at 50k instead of 1 meg. Yeah, this is the thing. So, I don't know. Honestly, don't know. Anyway, I'm just going to quickly switch that off. I want to just load a few games to make sure the games work after having copied them across yesterday. Last night, the last one. So we'll have a look at some of the last ones in the alphabet there. You can't see what I'm doing here. I'm just connecting up the 2630 again, just because it'll be a better experience for the games, and it's easy to do and stuff anyway. There we go. Let's connect it up. Plug that in. Switch it on. Where's the switch gone? Yeah. So I'll just test one or two games here just to make sure that copy works. When I copy them all across. Stu Roro, hi, nice to see you. We don't live that far away from Gadget. No, you don't. Just the other end of the motorway here, effectively. Like watching paint dry, waiting for this to boot, isn't it? I'm my own worst enemy though, because this thing is like I push things and I push it and I push it. So what I mean is, it took me best part of 2 days to get the first drive booting. Actually, once I got that first drive booting and upgraded it to Workbench 3.1, that wasn't enough. I was like, well, hang on a minute, I've got 3 more drives on there that SD to SCSI or SCSI to SD can provide. So that was it. I added another drive, and as soon as I added another drive, I started getting all these weird problems where it would crash and I couldn't format it and all the rest of it. But that was only as a consequence of that, let's say, the processor. Stick a 6803 on there, it's fine. You can add as many drives as you want. You can play around with the, well, you can't. You can have a physical, theoretical limit there on SCSI, the number of IDs you can actually have in the channels. Yeah, could you know, interact with those drives without any issue with this A20. Anyway, let's go into games. Scroll down here. Let's just see what's near the bottom. Yeah, it was like T onwards, I think, are the ones I haven't tested. So let's just see what we've got in here. Single Road, Treasure Island, Dizzy. Oh, let's try Turrican. Excellent. Let's give that a go. Oh, hang on a minute. I've just remembered something. Just remembered something before I do that. Oh, come on, mouse. What are you doing? Yeah, I'm using a ball mouse here, so it's very difficult to use it. Let's just do show all. I could have sworn it was in here. Maybe it's not. Maybe by name. I'm just looking for my license actually for WHD load. By name. I'm not sure if it's in here. Where on earth is it? Does anyone know where the license sits for WHD load? So I said, could try slowing down the CPU, faster CPU, might be timeout related. Oh, I tell you what, it's just going to be far easier if we just launch it, and I'll point the camera down. I just don't want you to see my license thing for WHD load, that's all. So let's load Turrican. There's a license file, if you just delete it, it's no longer needed. You actually no longer need a license for WHD load actually, so yeah, yeah, I'll just point you down there a minute. Doesn't always show it, but yeah, there we go.
Welcome to Turrican.
Yeah, always cuts it short there. I think that's an issue with the slave driver. But anyway, that seems to be working, so let's just hit fire. I'm not going to play any of this for very long, just want to just see if it's actually working. And it seems to be. Zero WHD is license free now. It is, yes, it is. But I've just got, because the way I set this up, it's got my historic license, that's all. It doesn't even need it, so I can delete it. That's what I was trying to do, but I can't remember what the hell it is. What was the secret up here? Oh, there it is. Yeah, so I would say that that is working fine. Right, let's press F10. Or is it F10? What's the key? Yeah, F10. Takes us straight out. Let's try something else. There was another one there that I like. Let's try that. Tubing. It's years since I played that. Oh, got my bloody name on there now, isn't it? That's why I wanted to delete the license. Very cool. Is it fire? Yeah, that seems to be working. That's a bit unfair. It's like you're supposed to avoid the little twigs and things like that. And that. You're supposed to avoid pretty much everything. Like those twigs, they'll burst your raft there. And it puts one right in front of the thing, right at the start. It seems a bit unfair to me. It's not a bad version, this, on the Amiga. Is that a beer? I can't remember. There are some beers you collect, aren't there? Anyway, that's working. So let's try something in another folder. Let's go down to, let's get some V, not many in there. Vroom. I haven't got like the full setup here. I've not got all of the games installed. Yeah, let's try that. So someone said SCSI SD6 has active termination. A2091 has passive termination, just about something on the bus. Mixing active and passive termination is not a good idea. Yeah, this is not a V6. It's not a V6. It's 5.1. Someone said ideally remove resistor packs and add an external DB25 connector. Is that loaded? What's it doing? Yeah, I had loaded. I missed the intro there because I just skipped it just as it finished. It started the title music thing there with the revving engine. I'm trying to work out what it's doing there. Is it decompression or what? Yeah, there we go. I thought it had bombed. I think it was just decompressing because it wasn't doing anything with the hard disk. Anyway, let's just start that, I think. Mouse. I'm pressing the right button here. Again, I'm not sure what's going on here. Is it doing anything? Is it loading? I don't know. Yeah, there we go. Got the controls for a minute there. You've got the right button to do the gear change, haven't you? And it's manual as default. Oh, straight into a post. Anyway, that's working. So let's see if we can find a key for that. That one was a star to get out of that. Big box. It's not so great on the A2000 due to faulty WC V8 chip. I'm not sure if I've got the 08 on here. That's what I've just heard. I think the 08. That's the one that people seem to recommend. Let's just see what's in W. Whizball. I didn't know there was a Amiga version of Whizball. Forgot about that. Monster Boy, Wonder Boy and Monster Land. Let's try that. I like my arcade ports, and there are some really good arcade ports. I think this is a good one actually. The Atari ST version of this is very good as well. I'm not sure how complete it is in terms of all the levels. I'm guessing it's going to be the full thing. How do you jump? Is it up? Yeah. This is where my arcade stick's useful because you can just press the second button to jump. Not sure how you go in there. You press down maybe. It's a little bit slow on the movement side of things. How do you go in there? Maybe you've got to press space, is it? Yeah, you've got to press space. How annoying. Anyway, that is working. We haven't had any issues with crashing or anything like that. I could just try copying. Oh, I'm not going to do that because I know I could spend time now copying files and showing you that it's actually working, but the very fact those games have been working, and I managed to set them up okay last night. I think everything's fine there. So, just catch up the comments before I do something else. Total Fire. I owned a QL once for a few days and then sold it. Didn't like it. Yeah, I don't blame you. I think I like the idea of the QL. Well, I wouldn't mind owning one at some point, but I think I'd soon probably get rid of it because there's just nothing you can do with it. I don't think. It was lots of productivity stuff, wasn't there? Not a lot else. I don't think it did very well particularly. Micro drives, yeah, obviously were essential as well for it. I don't think you could load anything from cassette on the QL, could you? Wasn't it just micro drive built in or something? I think it was. And those haven't really stood the test of time, those micro drives, very well. There's places that service them and stuff. You change the belts and change the rubber bits and stuff inside them, and I think generally they're alright. Clean them up, clean up the heads. Beats73, what's up, Gadget Crew? Nice to see you, Brian. So I think what we'll do now, we'll do the mod. So if I just put it down here a sec. If we just switch this off, take the board out. Yeah, we need to do that mod, and it should be really straightforward to do. And we'll just see what the performance difference is. What I could do is I could set up the other board, the other A2000, and show you that it doesn't boot at all unless you stick. I'm not sure if the camera went off there for a second. It may have done. It was sort of sat on pause mode here. Yeah, so we'll do the mod to this board. As we're saying, the other 2000 motherboard there, I could swap over to that and show you that it doesn't boot at all with the stock 68,000, but I don't know what it's going to achieve. I don't know what it's going to achieve. I've proven categorically that that is the case with it. Me showing you here on the stream is just going to achieve nothing, really, other than just proving what I already know. And there will be a video on some of this stuff going up separately anyway. Let's just get the wrist strap on. And we'll pull this out. I'm going to disconnect. I'll tell you what else we'll do as well. We'll do that in a minute. I've got a SCSI CD-ROM drive here that I want to try and add to the chain. So yeah, me never knowing where to end. I want to push it further. I'm not happy with 4 SCSI drives. I want a SCSI CD-ROM as well. Now, I installed IDE Fix as one of the early things that I did to try and see if that would solve my issues as well, because it's supposed to apparently fix one of the SCSI, some of the bugs in some of the SCSI drivers, isn't it? So I don't know whether it's affecting this or not, the fact I've got IDE Fix on there. But in theory, I think it should work with the CD-ROM drive. It's just a question of whether the CD-ROM drive works. I've not tested it. I spent, you can see here, I spent hours at the beginning of the year trying to get this drive working. At that point, I think I had one drive working on the SCSI adapter there, you know, SCSI to SD thing, and I had this as the other thing in the chain. I couldn't get them working at all. The fact that neither would work, I couldn't even format a hard disk at that point. That was when I decided to start upgrading the ROMs and the chip there and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, so it'll be interesting to see if that works. The only thing I remember when I installed IDE Fix yesterday, I set the ID to 5. I think it asks you, what do you want as your ID? And I thought, well, I'm going to go with 5 because I know that I've got 4 hard disks. But yeah, we don't know whether that CD-ROM drive works. I don't know. So we'll deal with that in a sec. So let's wheel back over there. I'll just unplug the camera from charge here and disconnect my ESD wrist strap. And we'll just go over to the mat and we'll do the mods we need to do to hopefully get that running in 14 megahertz mode, and we'll benchmark it again. Then we'll do the CD-ROM stuff. So I'll just point you down there a little bit if I can. And I'll plug you back in. Yeah, you charge it up. And I'll connect my wrist strap. Just put it there a sec. Just need to bring the Mac over. I'll plug the Mac in as well, actually, because it goes into screensaver. It's really annoying. That previous stream we had where I couldn't see the Mac screen and I thought my backlight had failed, it was just the automatic like brightness adjustment, you know, so it's got like a sensor, hasn't it? Like a lot of modern TVs have them as well, where if you're in a really bright room, it kind of compensates by reducing the brightness, which is crazy. I would expect when you're in a really bright room, you want to increase the brightness because you can't see the blooming screen. So whoever thought that up, that mod, you know, that's functionality on Macs to make the screen go dim when you're in a super bright environment. I don't know, where did they test it? Where did they test that? Did they do any field testing to see if that function actually works? Because it doesn't. It does the opposite of what you would expect. Anyway, don't get me started on Apple products. I don't think I'll ever go back to Apple again after some of the things that ultimately forced me onto going to a Galaxy, actually. And actually, I don't think I'll look back now. I don't think I'll ever look back. I think Android and Galaxy stuff is the way to go. Yeah, so just to echo, I'll revisit. You can see, I think, the trace there. We need to cut that. So on the guide that I saw on Amiga there, I think it was, he cut it and then just put soldered the third pin to the first one, which is not what you'd expect. You think it'd just be joining these two here, but it isn't. It's joining the third one to the first one. And he had a wire there. What I'm going to do is cut that, then put a jumper header, so we've got 3 pins there, and then on the underside, I will solder the wire from the first to the third, so that you can literally just, you know, pull that wire off and stick a jumper on to revert it back to 8 megahertz, if that makes sense. What I don't want to do is just leave it so that it's permanently 14. I always like to make these things. Come on, man. Outdo terrible fire. Camera drop. Some ass cracking. Bang the microphone. Man. Yeah, I don't have a nice professional microphone like Stephen. That's the thing. Stephen's got a really good microphone. I nearly said ass then. He's got a nice microphone. People posting words like that in the comments and it gets stuck in my head. Right. I assume everyone's still there. Yeah, I think you are. So I'll switch the solder iron on. And we'll just, I'm going to cut that. I'm trying to think the best thing to cut it with. It's in a really weird place as well. It's the sort of thing really that I think actually this is going to be the best thing, not that knife. Just like a really sharp tool where I can actually focus it. Let's just test that on continuity, where I can focus it just into that little bit and just damage that little trace. I am not sure whether this is also, you know, a good idea in terms of the health of this chip, because it's going to get warmer. But one thing I did read is that these are not designed really to run, or it's designed to run from a minimum of 8 megahertz. And actually this is running at 7 megahertz at the moment. We're doubling it to 14. So it's kind of under spec as things are at the moment. It is designed to go, I think, up to 14, maybe even beyond. And your success might vary on the quality of what you've got on here. I don't know whether I don't think the DMAX is going to be a factor. Oh, there we go. Someone asked for the camera drop. And this camera spin. You've got the best of both worlds there. Look. Let's just measure those 2 pins there. Yeah, so those top 2 are definitely joined to each other. So all I need to do, in theory, is just try and scratch there a little bit. It's easier said than done. It's certainly very hard to do with the camera in the way. I think all that's done is remove some of the solder mask actually. Yep. Good God, that's thick. What you've got to be careful of is you don't slip too far and start gouging other things on the board. Maybe I should just try that knife. There's going to be a pinhead over this in a minute anyway, so it's not like you're going to see it so much. I can't get it in there because of that chip. Let's just measure it again. It kind of looks cut now. Ah, that's done it. Yeah, that's done it. Right, so I'll unblock those 3 holes and we'll get a jumper on there. Thing is, I can't see where they are now. It's right next to that resistor and that one there, isn't it? Ah, it's those 3. It's those 3 solder blobs there. So let's unblock those. Desolder pump, where are you? So, usually Andrew Little Boy provided engineer pump here. Yeah, this video sponsored by Andrew Littleboy, Stephen Leary and Dermot Sweeney. Let's have a look at the solder. It's really weird, the iron's set fairly high here, 400, and it's hardly melting. Okay, that's one. Two. That's 3. Just brush that down. So I've got a factory mod here, this red wire. I'm not sure what that was for, but it's not like a fault has occurred there at some point. How do you clean that bloody solder pump? It gunks up really fast. I haven't, well, I've took it to pieces once, you know, just unscrew it here and obviously, you know, it comes apart and you can use paper towel and stuff to clean all the insides and things like that. If it keeps blocking here all the time, just shorten that. One of the tips that a number of people have given me is if you just shorten this so that it's, you know, hardly anything on the end there, maybe shorten it by 0.5 millimetre or 1 millimetre, then the plug tends to come out when you eject it like that there. Because then, if you look at the metal part, can you see? Let me just pull that off. You can see. Look how far the metal part comes out. So if you get that almost in line with that, it doesn't block the tip at all. It pushes it out entirely. But to be fair, I found that it's just got better to use as I've used it. It's really good. Piston seems to jam for me now. Wow, that's not what I expected. Maybe it's that Amtech flux you're using is blocking it up or something. I don't know. I've had no blockages with it yet. It could also just be a manufacturing thing. Maybe you've got one that's, I don't know, a bit easier to block than mine. WD-40 is your friend though when it comes to those sort of things. Anyway, let's get some pin header thing. So I need to try and find, have we got a single strip here? Yeah, I need a single strip of this. Maybe ordering some more of that actually. It's not gold plated, is it? We've got a gold one. I'm not sure I see a gold one there. They're all blocks of 3s. Hang on, there's one. It's not that important, but I figure I prefer fitting a gold one if we've got the gold one. Because of course gold is fairly inert, or very inert, isn't it? So moisture, anything in the environment won't interfere with it, whereas, what is it? Yeah, it's gold plated that. It's only very light, isn't it? So if we cut that into 3 pins, hope it doesn't, yeah, fall to bits there, it doesn't. So we've got our 3-pin thing there. Let's flip this over. Oh, see if we can get that in there. I can't get that in there now. It's that fiddly. Super fiddly. There we go. So I've got our jumper, flip it over. Ow. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking ahead here. I'm saying ow, I haven't even soldered yet, but that's what I'm about to do. Let's just solder 1 pin. Ow. Yeah, there's the ow I was anticipating. Let's just see if that looks straight. Yeah, that'll do. At the end of the day, it's just a jumper, isn't it? It doesn't have to be, it's not a Picasso or anything like that. Hang on. I think I'd just be annoyed if it was like 45 degrees or something. It'd bug me. Should use my ZX Kim fan for this, I forgot. There we go, it's just... We can clean that with some IPA in a sec, just to get rid of the flux off there. Let's just have a look. Yeah, that looks alright. So it's, I think that metal pin's a little bit bent, isn't it? Probably from heating that more than the others. Yeah, so if at some point I wanted to, you know, revert that back to 8 MHz, I can just put that jumper back on, cut the wire off the underside. You can see I also had a jump here. Can you see this? This is one of the things I did early on. Put another 3 pins here. Originally this was, I think it's bridged to int, I forgot which side I pulled it off there, int 2 is it? And you can swap it to int 6. Why you would need to do that I don't know, but whenever I see options like that generally I'll add them. But I hadn't spotted the other one for the 14 MHz there. Okay, so let's just test those aren't joined. Shouldn't be. Yeah. So we just need to join the outer ones with a wire. So where's the jumper? Flip it that way, get a little wire. So what do you think? Is this going to work? Is it going to be 100% increase? What do you think? What do you think? I think it will be. I think it's going to jump up to 2 now. I think we're using orange wire. The tutorial actually, the guy actually had an orange wire on his, so I'm copying the tutorial exactly, aren't I? Even to the colour of his wire. So let's just tin up the end of that. we go. And it only needs to be short, but I'm going to loop it anyway like that. Hang on a minute. Try and strip the end off that now. Do you know, I'm not sure what's happened there. I think I've just stripped the end of the... Oh, good God. It's one of these where you try and strip a really small wire, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. It gets shorter and shorter and shorter. Is that it? There we go, I've done it. Yeah. I've actually got some wire strippers actually provided by Nathan. Our own Nathan. Somewhere here. It came from Alison. I just forget where it is. It's in that box to my right, I think. Come on, melt. What are you doing? There you go. Just refill that middle one again. So, there's our really weird, crooked looking wire. So let's just get a bit of IPA on there. Yeah, and in case you're wondering, that is deliberate. Pin 1 to pin 3 is deliberate. It's not like you're swapping it between pin 1 and 2 and 2 and 3. I think Commodore got it wrong in the original the service manual where it tells you to do this mod. I think so anyway, because there was a lot of people on the Amiga did this and it works. The only change to the process, or what's the word, not change, only thing that was followed up on it was that you needed to run a bit of software to get the SCSI timings perfect if you do this mod. But in theory it should work without the SCSI timings thing. But the SCSI timing thing might just make it more robust and better performance, I don't know. We'll see, we'll see. I've got that SCSI thing on there anyway, the driver or whatever it is. It needs, I think it's an XC, and it's some sort of executable you run. Anyway, that's looking alright, I think. Yeah, you can see that glue's come loose there. Actually, let's just take that glue up while I'm here. It's not going to take a minute to do that. So I switch the soldering off, hot air on, and let's just move that out of the way. Yeah, that one's alright, it's just that bit there. Not blooming melting, is it? There we go, it is now. And just bring in the freezer spray here, as you can see. Service on. Yeah. Oh, it's blooming annoying, this service on. You've got to get it at a certain angle, like a 90 degree. Hang on, let me point this up. It's almost dried on its own now, but it's still molten now. That should do it, I think. What is going on with it? Yeah, that freezer spray, it's like you've got to shake it and shake it and shake it, and then you've got to hold it perfectly out at 90 degrees. If it's not at 90 degrees, it doesn't spray. It's dead expensive as well. It's like £18 for that tin of freezer spray, and it's pretty much running out. I know people talk about using aerosol duster. Turn the thing upside down, you kind of get the same result, don't you? A freezer spray. Is that dry yet? Yeah, it is. There we go. So anyway, that's the mod done. So let's wheel back over there and see what happens. So I'll get the ESD wrist strap here, bring it with me. I'll bring the power as well, actually. So let's just carefully grab that. Put that there a sec. Put you there. Plug you in. Get the SD wrist strap in. just noticed the hot air hasn't switched itself off. That's one thing you've got to check with those hot airs, the A10 858D. Yeah, it doesn't always switch itself off if you don't get the thing, you know, receptacle in there properly. The last thing you want is it sitting there heating up and heating up and heating up. Let's just make sure it's going down again. Yeah, it's cooling down now. Yeah, so if we connect the drive back up to this, so pin 1, yeah, pin 1 goes nearest the power connector here. And incidentally, with this version I'm using, I don't have to provide power to it. It comes down the cable, which is really nice. So like this, oh, hang on, camera's doing a run for it again. Let me just show you. Yeah, if you look at the thing here, you might think you need that on there. You don't actually. It's powered by the cable. It works fine that way. I've tried it both ways before anybody says, oh, that's the problem, that's why you're getting the corruptions on that other thing. No, it's got nothing to do with it. So let's carefully get that back in. Hang on a sec, that's not lined. There we are. So that's that. Nothing short in there, let's get the power again. I'm going to try switching it on. No smoke. Yeah, seems to be doing something. I'm just looking down at the LED. Is it doing out? Yeah, LED's coming on. So it does take a while to boot, as I say. Let's just see what happens. A, will it boot? B, how fast does it go? I had a few people saying you should have been sharing the SCSI stuff over the last week, you know, like the last few days. Why don't you do a stream? Why don't you do a stream? I can listen to your rants about the SCSI. The problem is I've been in and out of this room, having to do things on the PC, you know, and then long periods of idle time. So what I mean by that is, you know, starting a format and waiting an hour for it to complete. It's not exactly the stuff of streams, is it? Right, so we booted up. That's good. It's not broken. So let's go into my utils. If I'm honest, it feels snappier already. It feels twice as snappy. Could be imagining things. It's going to be one of those imaginary things, isn't it? I can see it's going to come out exactly the same on the benchmark here now. So speed of DH1. It's the same. It's exactly the same. How is that possible? How is that possible? It must be, I don't know. That is not what I expected at all. Whose idea was to do the 14 megahertz mod? Someone was like, I don't know, I'm just reading to see if there's anything else here. It says, cut the upper trace, yeah, between two pins of JP201, we've done that. And it says you ignore the service manual and jump at lower of the 2 pins, yeah, to the upper. Yeah, so it's like the outer pins is the outer pins. Yeah, pins 1, 3. And your SCSI should now be happily running at 14 megahertz. I've tested this with V6 and V7 ROMs. Using RSCP, I've benchmarked transfers around 3.1 meg. Lucky you. I haven't. Oh, we've got a crash there, look. Got a crash. That's worrying. That's worrying. It's like now we've got some instabilities. That's the sort of instability I had when I was using the standard 68,000 before, actually. Is it booting again? Let's just leave that again. We'll let it boot up again. There was another article that said also, it says with the V7 ROMs, Commodore V7 ROMs, you need to set J5 to 4 to enable synchronous mode. But I thought synchronous mode depended on the drives. That's something totally different. That's not like to do with the DMA side of things and stuff, is it? I thought that was if your drive supports synchronous mode, and I don't think this version of SD to SCSI or SCSI to SD supports synchronous mode. Could be wrong. I think it's just asynchronous. Someone said that was unexpected. Yeah, I'm shocked. I'm shocked. I'm just checking. I definitely joined the right pins together, so it's a bit weird. Look, it's not booting here. This was the problem I had before. This was the problem I was having with the standard 68,000, where it wouldn't boot on here. Now maybe it's corrupted the car. Let me just temporarily undo that work. I'm just going to inspect it first of all to make sure I haven't done anything stupid. No, I haven't. It's definitely joined. I'm just going to, off camera, I'm just going to move that jumper back up to the other position. If I can desolder the blooming thing. Absolutely on now, isn't it? So I'll take you back over there again while I just swap it back over. Yeah, I'm just having to wait a second. I'm just having to wait a second for it to heat up. But yeah, definitely pin 1 to pin 3. That didn't make any difference, did it? Well, it did. It started to kill it. So if we just carefully move that up to the middle. I'm not even going to worry about making that nice and clean. I just want to join. Just test that. Just swap it over. Yeah, so that's joined up right. Unless I just messed that up. That was in that position, wasn't it? In 2, not in 6. Because that's the only other thing I did. Anyway, let's go and try it again. That's really weird. Really weird. I wonder if it's something to do with that WDC chip. I tried the original one, but that's, if anything, that's like going to be slower and more buggy and. Just trying to put it back in. Right, so it's back in again. Switch it on. Someone said, I think you put the jumper back on different pins though. I may be wrong. I don't know. I would have assumed that you've got to put it between either pins 1 and 2 or 2 and 3. I am wondering now if the tutorial's wrong and actually it needs to be between just 2 and 3, not 1 and 3. They might have a different revision of this board. It's all very well telling people to to do things like that, but the rev board I have here, maybe the correct thing would just be to toggle that jumper into the other position. So like, originally I think it was between 1 and 2, we're going to change it to 2 and 3. We'll try that, Let's just see if it's working again. Well, it is, isn't it? It's booted. My utils. And I don't know how long you test it for before you determine it's actually, stable. Because that's the weird thing, isn't it? It was working right for a few minutes and then it bombed. Why did I quit? Drives. PH1. Ah, what is going on now? Is it bombed again? I think that's bombed. There's something weird going on here. Brian Charles is the soldering god. I wouldn't say that. Well, did I solder a jumper? I think that's yeah, it's bomb look. That's really weird. Let me try reseating things here. I'm starting to think my instabilities have come back with the SCSI, and that it's a red herring. Mind you, it's very hot in here as well. That's the other thing. Let's try it again. Someone said, I think it was in 6 for something. Defo crashed again. I'm wondering if it's the the WDC IC mate. Yeah, I've tried that though. I tried that before, so you know it was one of the very first things I ruled out. When I was getting these crashes like that, I swapped over to this chip, and it was no different. It was exactly the same. So I think the WDC chip isn't the issue. In any case, I think we've got some different behaviour here because this is the first time it's been unstable. I tested it a hell of a lot yesterday. And we've just undone the change that I did before there to that jumper, so it's not that. TH1 speed. Yeah, that's back to what it was originally, isn't it? So maybe I should try jumping pins 2 and 3, not 1 and 3. Yeah, 1 and 3 made no difference. So let's ignore the guide and let's do what kind of logic says really, which is what you'd expect, just to flip the jumper into the other position, which is probably what Commodore said originally. Of course, it could, you know, it could be something on this board. So, for example, you know, what we're trying to do here is there a crystal on here? How does it get the 14 megahertz? Where does that come from? Is it dividing the 28 down, perhaps? It's like dividing it by 2 instead of dividing it by 4, presumably. Maybe the flip-flop is not right on here. That could be why it's not working. The division isn't working. That could also explain why this thing's a bit unstable as a whole anyway. Maybe there is a fault on this. Might need to start scoping things later. Anyway, let's just swap over that wire. So we join pin, the bottom 2 effectively here. Just pull the top one off. Wasn't sure if the iron was on then for a minute. Yeah, it's doing that thing where it's not melting. It's probably because I cleaned these points up before, removed all the flux. Because it's set quite high, it's set to 400. Let's just pull this down here. And reflow that one. Yeah, these look awful. I'm going to clean them up later. Right now, I'm not really fussed about making them look clean and tidy. I just want to toggle it. Just test on the meter. So it should be the bottom 2 now, not the top 2, that's right. Yeah, and those 2 aren't joined. So let's give that a try, see what that does. Hopefully it won't fry the thing. It could do, thinking about it. So a mistake has been made on that board, and that's why you have to swap those pins, you know, do pin 1 to 3. I could now be joining ground to 5 volts, so that's going to end well, isn't it? Let's just see. Let's just see what happens. You ready? Just look and see if the LED's on. Yeah, I'm not seeing the LED. No, that did nothing. That did absolutely nothing. I see the LED flash once initially, and then that's it. If I was to hazard a guess, I would think there's no clock now. That's really weird. Okay, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch it back the way the guide says, between pin 1 and 3. We'll remove this, because maybe this is forcing it into I/O. Oh no, mind you, it's still running at 14 megahertz though, isn't it? So even though it was running in I/O mode, you'd expect it to be twice as fast. It's really mysterious, that. Let's do it anyway. Let's do it anyway. We've got nothing to lose. We've tried every other combination here. So let's just disconnect that again. We'll back over there with it again. Swap the jumper back to pins 1 and 3. It's one of these things though, the more times I desolder and resolder this here, it's looking, the wire's going fuzzier and fuzzier. You know, it gets splayed out on the ends and at the strands. It starts to look a mess. It'll need a new wire soon. There we go. So that's pins 1 and 3. So we'll try it without the 68030. I don't think there's any other jumpers there. The only one it talked about was this, I think here, this one. If you wanted to put it in synchronous mode. But as far as I understand, like I said, this only works asynchronously, I think. I could have that inverted, but anyway, let's see what that does. I thought this was going to be straightforward, actually. If this doesn't work, I'm just going to give up at this point with this and try and get the SCSI CD-ROM drive working. We'll see if that works. I can't think why it wouldn't. So we'll remove this. Here, let's just remove this. Just carefully put that on the ESD thing up there. And power. Switch it on. See if we've got SCSI light again. Yeah, SCSI light's back, that's good. So yeah, it was definitely very wrong when you jumper it as 2 to 3. Let's just catch up with chat, see if anyone's posted any ideas or suggestions. 28 MHz system clock is 02 bus. Guessing it's flip-flopped down to 14 MHz. Why? Yeah, that's what I think. But I'm also wondering if the issue is maybe the flip-flop is the issue. Actually, in general, it might be not just when we switched it over, so we're trying to divide by 4 instead of divide by 2, but maybe it was a bit flaky. Divide by 2. It's booted still, by the way. You get a crazy long black screen on this because of the number of drives, I think. It's getting there though, it's flashing away, there we are. So that's booted again. Let's try it again. So the only difference here is we haven't got the 2630, so we've got a slower CPU, but we don't have the Zorro 3 RAM. So if that was forcing it into some sort of I/O mode, I would assume that now it's not. Drives, DH1, speed. So we'd expect about 2 meg here, wouldn't we? That's the thing. It's still not. It's still a meg. It's made no difference. It's made no difference at all. Main PC just shut down there from a cakes up fan. You picked it up, show the pins you had sold them previously, but I'm sure you put the jumper back onto different pins. Do you mean, did I? I don't think I did. I thought it was on. I don't think it will boot in the other position. Let's switch it off. I think it's talking about the int pin. Let me just show you. Yeah. Someone was talking about, I think, the int pin down here. So it's currently to the left of the power socket. So let's just to rule it out, let's just swap that over. Let's get the keyboard out of the way now. It's not in the way. So let's just swap that over there. If we just, oh, hang on a sec. I've been going everywhere here. Just pull this out a sec. And just pull that jumper off. Put it onto that side. I don't think that's going to boot like that. I could be wrong, let's soon find out. Let's try that. So I'm just watching the IDE, not IDE, LED there. Doing nothing now though. Yeah, that's not booting. That's what I expected. If you change that int jumper over, and Stephen might know more about this, it won't do anything. I think it's default. It's expecting it on the specific interrupt here. So I'll swap that back. So I don't know. It's really weird, isn't it? It's really weird that that doesn't seem to be running at 40 megahertz. Someone said int2 is the default. Yeah, there you go. So int6 won't work. I suspect you probably need a customised Kickstart ROM if you want that to work from int6 or something. I don't know why it's got the int6 option. I don't get what that is. int2 is the default. I'm sorry, mate. You added 2 meg 2M jumper earlier in the stream. Remove sensibility. Yeah, that 2 meg jumper needs to be there. Otherwise, we ain't got 2 meg. What was the problem with the board? Yeah, if you missed the start of the stream, I'm just checking it's still doing it. Yeah, if you missed the start of the stream, one of the issues I've been having is that this board, when you try and do large file copies with a straight 68,000, you get corruptions, and it can crash the machine. Whereas if you got the 2630 in there driving it, instead of just a standard 68,000, it's rock solid stable. Now this looks like this is rock solid stable now, just booting from a 68,000, but if I was to copy some files from one drive to another one here, it will crash. It's done it so many times, I've lost track of how many times it's happened. But as soon as you stick the 2630 in there, it doesn't do that. So anyway, that was where we started looking at this on this video. We've just done the 14 megahertz mod to the A2091 there, and that's made no difference. It's made no difference at all. So that's really, really strange, actually. It's a bit like scope's not a digital scope, because I'd be interested to see, let's do a normal speed test there, be interested to see, have we got a 14 megahertz clock there or not now? Let's do drives again. Drives, DH1, speed. The other thing I did wonder about, actually, you might know the answer to this. You know the max transfer value that you typically have to set when using IDE drives? I think it's like 1FE00, isn't it? I've set that on here because I was getting that many problems with these SCSI drives. I'm just wondering if I need to change that. Maybe I've put a theoretical bottleneck on here myself by adding that max transfer thing, because that could be the answer, actually, now I think about it. So, what do you think, guys? Do you think we should try changing that? I don't know what the default is, actually, now I think about it. If I go into, let's have a look how it's configured at the moment. If we go into HD Tool, is it? HD Toolbox. Let's just see if one of the drives, I think the fourth drive might, drive 4 here, might have its settings set as original. So if I have a look at the, where's it gone? Advanced options, hang on. Change. Yeah, there we go. Yes, the max transfer is 6Fs, isn't it, as default? So let's cancel that. Let's cancel that. Let's change DH0. I've got a backup of this SD card, not compact flash, SD card. So if I do mess this up, I can always restore it later. Let's go into there again, and let's change that for DF0 and DF1 to, oh hang on, it's just bombed again. This is the problem. So you can see there firsthand. That's what happens when you don't have the 030 in there. So I'm going to stick the 030 back in. 030 is going back in. I know we had an instance there when I was messing around with it a few minutes ago that it still did a weird crash type thing. I think that was just a bad connection, because I used it all day yesterday, a lot, a hell of a lot. I played a lot of games on it, copied loads of files, like, you know, a couple of gigabytes of files from one drive to another. Rock solid, no problem. So I think that issue before was a glitch. What's just happened now is what has been happening when I don't use 030 on this. So anyway, we'll let that boot, then we'll just change that max transfer over again, see what difference that does. If we get nowhere with that, I'm going to just jump onto the CD-ROM bit, and then we'll perhaps wrap things up. I had planned to look at a Sinclair power supply and do recap of that, but that can wait for another day, I think, because I haven't had any lunch yet, and we've been going on a crazy time already here. Waiting for all these hollow boots. Look, it's still flashing, flashy. It's nearly there. Yeah, there we go. Right, so let's try that again. System. SD toolbox. Partition drive. So we go. Advanced options. Change. So we change that. Oh, it's the keyboard. The keyboard's doing it. Oh, yeah, hang on. The other thing that's a complication here, I've got a keyboard which is glitchy. I might need to try the other keyboard. Let's just see if that's... Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I've got a glitchy keyboard. Forgot to mention that. That could be what's the word? Complicating matters. Yeah. Right, so I want to change that to 6 Fs. That's right. Okay. And we also need to... Why does that say not changed? Oh yeah, it's a stupid blooming bug this and the way this works. Let's just cancel that. Click that partition first. Change. You've got to press the enter key. If you don't press the enter key, it doesn't even register you've changed it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did that work? I don't know whether that registered it. Oh, hang on a minute. What is going on here? Let's try that again. Maybe you need to... I think you might need to do that add thing there. Anyway, let's just try it one more time. Hang on, why's the keyboard not working again? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it. Yeah, it's the keyboard that's playing up, that's all. I think if we now press OK, yeah, there you go, it's changed. Can you see that? So we'll do save changes. I also want to do the same on DH1 because that's what I've been benchmarking. So let's click that, change, click there, delete that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Return, blue cursor's gone, that's correct. Click OK, click OK. It says it's changed again, save changes, exit. So, the max, let's switch that off and on. The max transfer has been changed for DH0 and DH1 back to its default. It seems like there's no limit on it, I think. All there is a limit is FF. Instead of 1FE00, which you usually set with compact flash cards and things. But that was just a desperate attempt for me changing that yesterday. But let's just see, maybe that's given us a theoretical limit there. That might be why we've not seen any change in performance. Although now I can't quite remember how the jumper's set. Is it set between 1 and 2? I think it is. Anyway, we can check that in a minute. Let's just see what's going on. So I said I need a SCSI to SD adapter for my 2500. Yeah, they're very nice. They are very, very nice. In retrospect, although I've had a ton of trouble setting it up, once you get familiar with some of the, well, deal with some of the problems I've had, and as I talked about those a little bit in this video, but they'll be covered in a few other videos. They're going to be split up a bit, I think. You'll see that they're good. They're pretty good things. They're pretty good little devices. They're a bit pricey for what they are. Right, so I'm expecting this is still going to be around a meg, if I'm honest. It might not be. If it shoots up just a little bit, because I am sure at some point I have seen 1.5 meg on this, and if it comes back to that, that might indicate it's the max transfer that's limiting it. No, it's not. That's identical. That's identical. Yeah, it's really weird. Anyway, let's have a look at the SCSI CD-ROM drive. I think I will experiment changing that jumper over later. Now that I've just, changed the max transfer there, in case that's something to do with it. But I think not. I think there's something weird here with this one. Maybe it's a fault on the 2091. So I'll switch that off. Yeah, so I have here a CD-ROM drive. It's a TIAC CD523S. You can see, looks like a what's his name thing, doesn't it? Like a bingo ticket, you know, you raffle draw. Yeah, number 228. You've won the CD-ROM drive. That's what it looks like. Yeah, so on the back here, sorry, it's not focusing very well. So we've got the audio out connector there. In terms of testing, we have got, yeah, we've got a headphone jack there, brilliant. I've got some headphones somewhere on the table up there, so I can test that, assuming we get it working. I'm honestly not sure what I need to do here. The terminator, can you see that there? It says term. So off is along the bottom, on is down and left. So I think we just need to pull that off and stick it on the bottom of that little bank of 4 there. Yeah, termination off, because I've got termination on the SCSI thing there, which I think means this needs to sit somewhere in the middle of the cable. Now, the cable you've seen, it's super short, but I've got this crazy long cable here, look, so let's try that. And then the other thing is the ID. I think, from when I messed with this last time, I remember ID 5 being it's one and the other, so you have a gap in the middle. That was ID 5 when I tested that back in January, but I couldn't get couldn't get it working. It wouldn't work at all. So it might be dead. It might be completely dead. But the difference now is I've got a boot-in system here that I can use to query the SCSI chain. You know, you load a HD toolbox or even that speed test thing there, and it lists the devices. So it'll be interesting to see what, if anything, comes up with this. So let's disconnect that. So the red notch, yeah, the red notch goes there. So if I just connect this out of the way. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is, well, see how short we can have this cable. Let's test, yeah, pin 1 there, like that. And then use the short end here. So I think you can see this, I'm zoomed in way too close. So I've got the short bit here. And then the crazy bit, I'm just going to leave flapping in the breeze. I don't think that will work, but this is a good test to show you that I think you need to terminate at either end of the cable. So if you just, I'll show you in a second. I'll have to get this on, hang on. I'll zoom you out a little bit. Yeah, so if you've got a crazy long cable like this, what you want is the device with the terminator on right at the very end of it. Yeah, so we've got the interface here, and it's coming up straight to our card, but then the cable's coming back out and it's going off somewhere else. So will it work, the fact it's terminated there, with this long cable flapping in the breeze here? I suspect it won't. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see, because it's been that long since I've done anything with SCSI, but I just vaguely remember when I did work on the occasional SCSI device back in the day, or machine with a SCSI device, I remember it being really finicky about not having long flapping cables, and the termination played a critical part in terms of where you terminated it. It wasn't just a case of making sure it was terminated, it was a case of making sure it was terminated in the right place. So that seems to be booted actually, so I could be wrong there. Let's just show you the screen. I haven't got the CD drive connected to them, obviously. I just want to make sure the cable's right before we do anything else. So it's just stuck on at the moment. I'm not convinced that's booted. I think that's probably going to boot loop. Maybe it is booting, I just saw a flicker. No, I think that's not booting. Oh, hang on, no, it's booting. It's booting. It's nearly there. So there we go. So it doesn't seem to matter about having a big flappy bit of cable there. But what will matter is having the CD-ROM drive the right place on the cable, because that's not got termination on it. So it needs to be before the SCSI to SD, or SD to SCSI, call it what you will. So now we've got that working, let's do the next bit. So let's switch this off. And we need to connect power on this, and we also need to connect this up. Now I think this is where, like I said, this is where, hang on, let's just connect that. This is where it's important as to where you stick the drive. Because if we were to just stick the end of this here onto the CD, it's already terminated here in the middle of the cable. So in theory, what we need to do, I think, is disconnect that, connect this right to the very end of here. It's almost like the last connection on the chains, because this terminates. Yeah, this terminates the chain. So that's that. and then we can sort of pull some of this out somewhere and connect up the CD-ROM drive. So let's just plug that back in there. I seem to be using a different Zorro slot here every time. The card's getting further and further to the left. So yeah, we can stick that somewhere. It needs to be off the carpet ideally. Let's just stick that there. So in terms of CD-ROM drive, I guess we can just pull from any of these here. Got to get the pin 1 the right way. And it's keyed, can you see that? You see the key there, which corresponds with the back of the drive that you probably can't see. So if we just connect that up, and we'll just sit that there, I think. Yeah, it's all a bit bodgy this, isn't it? Look, there's the original cable, look how short that was. Anyway, so that's that. I need power now for it, don't I? So I'll pull one of the Molex connectors across if I can find one. There's one right up there. So let's pull this Molex in. Power would be at the bottom, wouldn't it? So I've got power. We set its ID, didn't we? I set that to what I think is probably 5 from what I remember back earlier in the year. So let's get the power up. And see if I can just rearrange some of these things a little bit. Move the keyboard maybe. Because I can move the drive here. There we go, we can see the drive now, I think. Yeah, it's not ideal working on the floor like this, is it? Right, I'll plug you back into charge. There you go, you're on charge. And I'll switch it on. Just see what happens. So you can't see the LED on that. Oh, that's flickering. You can see that. Yeah, you can't quite see it, it's off shot, but the LED there's flickering. Hang on, we had some activity there. I'm not sure if that should get polled at some point. That's flickering again, look. It does take an incredible amount of time to boot with all these drives on there. Is it giving up or is that working? Oh yeah, it's flashing, so it's booting. Booty. No activity from that yet. None whatsoever, but anyway, that's booted. Let me just point it back up there. That has worked. We haven't got any CD icon or anything there, have we? Let's just go into IDE fix. Because I remember there being some sort of utility in there to scan. Now when I installed this yesterday, I set up with a default of 5, I think, to correspond with what I thought the SCSI CD-ROM drive was set to. Find device, there it is, it's come back. So if we do find device, and we click SCSI.device, oh there it is, look. Unit 5, TIAC, CD-ROM, CD532S1A. So what do we choose? Use. So, not sure what that's given us. See what else is in this folder. Eject CD, let's try that. So it's given us a little thing up here, look. Oh yes, it works, fantastic. There you go, it was that simple. So I'm glad I installed IDE fix actually, because it looks like that was all I needed. Now I've got a couple of CDs up here. Let's try a music CD. This is my garbage CD. Oh, yeah, don't get your cable trapped like that. There you go. Right, so let me pull the headphones down. Hang on a sec. I've got some headphones that are a bit dusty. They've been sat there for months. I've wrapped it around there now. Look. I'm just curious to see whether we can actually play using this. I mean, I still don't see a drive letter or an icon or anything like that. Let me just point you back up there a sec. Yeah, one thing you should expect on these streams is weird camera stuff where the camera goes all over the place. So let's close that. I don't want to eject it again. Play CD. Let's try that. Play CD. So that says number 112. I think that's working, isn't it? We've got the list of tracks here. So let me just put the headphones up, see if we can hear anything. So let's do 1. Yeah. Can you hear that? Sweet. It works. Can't believe it. It's been sat there for months, that drive. It's been on the floor since last August, I think. Is that one working? Yeah. Can you hear that? Sweet. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I didn't think it was going to be that easy. I thought I can't stop it now. I thought I would have to install a load of drivers and things. I wasn't sure that IDE fix on its own would be enough, but it seems like it is. So we'll take the audio disc out now. I've got a CD here I used to use on another machine. There's a CD32. It's Time Gal. Now I don't know whether this is what this is gonna do. Hang on, I've got the headphone cable trapped now. That's the problem with doing it on the carpet like this. All these wires around. Well, let's see what happens with that. I don't even know if the file format is the right structure, because I never actually used it on the CD32 at the end of the day. I wrote it for the CD32, but I think I ended up copying it a different way. I ended up putting the compact flash card into, what's that? Holy shit, what did you check with the copyright codes? What? I don't know what that guy's talking about. Anyway, so what are your thoughts? Do you need to mount it? I vaguely remember CD, you've got DH, I think you've got CD, haven't you? CD0. So let's just try going to it. I don't know, let's try and navigate into it. I'm trying to move the cables here. Cables everywhere. CD0. Shift. Please insert volume into CD0. Cancel. Let's try mount CD0. I wonder what I was waiting for then. I hadn't pressed return. I thought I'd press return. So we've mounted CD0. I don't know if we can change into CD0 now. Maybe not. That's not how you do it, is it? Is it just CD0 colon? Again, I've not pressed return, have I? No, it says no disk present. CD0. No disk present. So I don't know. Do I need to edit a mount list maybe? Something for me to look at after, I think. We can just have a look at the mount list just to see if it's maybe it added something in when I did IDE fix install yesterday. So let's have a look in there. Let's go into CD devs, ed mount list. That put me an enter key. Now it's the keyboard in general. Let me show you this. You might be wondering why I'm getting these pauses. Can you see? Just to confuse matters. Can you see this? Watch. Flash, flash. Flash, flash. That means the keyboard MCU on that keyboard is playing up. I was aware of it. I've been using this one for that very reason, as a test keyboard. So, I've got an MCU to change it out at some point. I just haven't got around to it. So I've plugged it back in again. It's gone crazy. So we'll try that again. Edit mount list. Hang on. Oh, why is it doing that again? That's it. Oh, what's that res? Oh, hang on a minute. That was something I tried to add earlier on, I think, when I was trying to get one of those drives working. Yeah, it was. So I can delete that. That's old stuff that doesn't need to be there. D. Yeah, escape D deletes the line, so we can get rid of that. I thought I'd got rid of that. I thought I got rid of that ages ago. I'm surprised that's still there, to be fair. I don't know. Let's just see what else we've got in here. So we've got new icon, speak, aux, pipe, RAM, that's the RAM drive, DF2, fast, DF1, there's nothing else in there. So I don't know, maybe I need to modify that and add something in for CD0 or something like that. Escape X is it, to save and exit. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, I honestly don't know. Let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think I need to do to get an icon up with when I'm trying to read a data disk? Do you have CD-ROM handler in L? Let's have a look. L. V. Hang on. View. Show all. I should have done it from the shell really. It would have been easy, wouldn't it? L. Got a CD file system there, I think. Oh, I hate the way it presents information to you as default on the Workbench. Actually, I prefer if it just showed the name, and I prefer if it showed all the time. Can't be doing with stupid blooming icons that only show you half of what's actually there. But that's just me. Type info first and try CD5. I'm not sure what you mean, type info. The command prompts. Get a shell. Ah, right, okay, thanks. I'm learning things all the time here. I didn't even know that was a thing. How do you scroll up and use this one? Not even sure how you scroll back up there. That's just DF0's unreadable disk and the other hard disks. Incidentally, the reason I set up DH, why is DH0 not listed there? Or does DH0 come before DF0? Let's see if I can just make this window a bit bigger. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, so, oh there we go, CD0. No disk present. So it's, oh that's because I mounted it though, isn't it? That's because I mounted it. Yeah, I honestly do not know. It could be the format of the CD that's not right. I'll go and get some other discs at some point, try to test some other discs on it. And it's a try CD5. I don't think there is. It's not there, is it? It's not listed, so I'm guessing CD5 is not going to work. It's just saying there's no volume in there, but there is a disc. I've just stuck one in. CD0 is the one that I mounted, but again, there's nothing. Hang on, the keyboard's playing up again. Yeah, there's nothing there. It's not seeing it. Trying to think what else we could do. Let's just go into systest, just see what that reports in terms of drives now. Sysinfo, I mean, let's go in here and see what it says in terms of drives here. Did you install IDFix? Yes. Yes, I did, yeah. Someone said CD0 on devs DOS drivers. So we'll check that in a sec. Drives. Oh, look there, it's showing CD0. There's no disk inserted. Let me just try ejecting the disk. Put this back in. Yeah, it just says no disk inserted. See what people are suggesting. And so Big Box Amiga was saying CD0 on devs DOS drivers. What do you mean by that, BBA? Do you mean look in the devs DOS box drivers? Should be a CD0 icon. You can. Okay, let's try that. So devs DOS drivers. Yeah, there's nothing in there, is there? Just pipe. Yeah, so there's nothing in there. But a tappy device. This is definitely having some more devices in here. So this is where, yeah, some CD devices. A tandem CD device. WHD load key. I was looking for that before. I couldn't find it. There it is. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to drive you all nuts on the stream here because it could be about this for ages now. I'm just going to do a bit of research and dig into it and work out exactly what I need to do to get that drive working with data disks. And it could just be that the disk that's in there is not formatted the correct way. It's got to be Redbook or something, a specific type or something like that. If I've written it on Windows 10, which I think I may well have done, goodness knows what format it's actually in and whether the Amiga's even capable of reading it. Although you would expect that CD as a standard won't have changed very much from back when you had those standard, someone said UDF, it might be UDF formatted or something like that. Yeah, that might be all it is. I'll go and see if I can find it. I've got another disc that came with an Amiga game on it from Germany. What's it called? I can't remember the name. It's the one I sent to Jamie Morgan, actually. Morgan Just Games, because I got the same game for myself, and that came on a CD. So I'll go and dig that out and try that, because I'll guarantee that that will work. That is being written to work on the Amigas with the CD-ROM drive, or the CD32. Anyway, thank you very much, guys. Thanks for watching and stuff. Thanks for all the comments. I'm sorry if I've missed anything. Just noticed Right Retro Gaming's joined there. I haven't had a chance to share that meter yet, Anthony. Thank you very much for sending it. We'll have a look at that in a future stream. So yeah, I'm sorry it's not been very exciting, is it? But yeah, I've got to go and get something to eat and stuff, and we've gone on for long enough. Hopefully you found things interesting. Catch you in the next video. Take care.